Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the first Monday after Thanksgiving, or as it's better known, Cyber Monday. Right? When I was growing up, when I was younger, we certainly didn't have any such thing as Cyber Monday. Of course, we didn't have Black Friday either when I was really young. But you had Black Friday. Now that was a big deal. Then eventually, Cyber Monday came along. I gotta say, just personally, I probably do more ordering online than I do in person nowadays. That's the way I love to shop. That's a perfect way to shop. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. 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 Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. I appreciate y'all coming out here on a Monday evening. Before I go any further, SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out there. And I love the Muppets too. Someone in the comments mentioned about my thumbnail a little bit earlier. If you haven't seen it, I post on my Instagram story and the YouTube reminder as well. I don't know if it was Christmas. It may have been Christmas Carol instead. Thanks to him, but it had a turkey in the front, so it made sense. I've always liked the Muppets. I liked them when I was a kid watching Sesame Street. I think I was 4 or 5 when Sesame Street premiered. So I was there at the very beginning of Sesame Street. I remember the count. I remember everything about Sesame Street, Oscar, all those guys. And then I loved the Muppets when it was a TV show. And I've liked all the movies ever since then. So yeah, I thought it was appropriate to use that as my background. I wanted to have a background of just those 2 old guys up in the corner. In fact, it would have been great if it was a video, just have them razzing me the whole time I'm doing the show from over here in the corner, just booing or throwing stuff. But I couldn't find a good background, so that one had to work instead. And again, being Cyber Monday, I thought this was appropriate as well. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Let me check out here before we go any further. Brian Hostetler. Brian, thank you. I just appreciate you being out here so much, being a moderator, helping with donations and such. Thank you so much. Ma, you're always out here as well. Thank you. Marine, Alessia, Armanda, Armanda. Maybe I need to check my glasses. Amanda, I saw it. Here's the thing, guys. I try to read all these comments, but I turn my brightness down just a little bit on this computer, so I don't have a whole lot of reflection back in my glasses. And every once in a while, I kind of pay the price for that. All right. Amanda's saying, did any good pranks take place over the weekend with your family? Yeah, a little bit. Remind me. I'll talk about it here in just a second. Once I get through here. Paula Scar. Howdy, Paula. Travel the world. I always like that login ID. Howdy, travel. Mark the Nard. Star. Lauren O. Thank y'all all for being out here. I appreciate it so much. Lori Line. James Williams. My team in LSU beat y'all. Yeah, we started off horrible. We got better at the end. Had a few controversial calls. Well, one controversial call, but yeah, we didn't deserve to win. We really didn't play that well. Well, what can I say? You win some, you lose some. I've watched enough football over the years. I don't get too upset when. Well, I don't get too upset when we lose. I don't get too optimistic when we win either. It's a game, just like Big Brother. People got so upset. Well, it was just a game. At the end of it, as long as I gave it 100%, I felt pretty good with it. Yeah, not to say I didn't want to win, but things happen. There could only be one winner, just like in a football game. So yeah, congratulations. The LSU won it. We'll get you next year. It's a fun rivalry. Have that. What else on here? Let's see. Screaming my head off, James said. Yeah, I did a little screaming myself. I did a little cursing. Well, yeah. I try not to curse, especially when there's kids around and all that. So I just said a few things under my breath. We'll leave it at that. I tried really hard when I was inside the Big Brother house, never to throw out the words. Y'all that watch live feeds, you know there's some salty language that goes out there. And I've worked in the oil field. If you want to get me, if you want some demonstrations of some salty language, I could give you a good 10 or 15 minutes that would just melt your ears off. But that's not who I am. The whole time I was in there, I'm not going to say never, but I very rarely threw out words that I wouldn't want people listening to, kids and such. There was one competition. Do y'all remember the competition? It was during my season. You had to build a model with stuffed animals, hang them on like a kid's mobile kind of thing. You had to hang them off sticks, and if one slipped off, everything slipped off. That was frustrating. And I dare say I threw out probably more words that should be saying during that particular competition than the entire 92 other days I was inside that house. That was horrible. I was so frustrated at that. But anyway, how do we even get off that tangent? I don't know. But yeah, a few words here and there, but that's all right. That's what makes football fun, right? All right, let's see. Kaylin Day, sorry, just joined us. Doing my homework. Well, Kaylin, you got your priorities in order. Take care of business first, then come over and talk and enjoy the rest of the evening. So congratulations. Now you just get to enjoy the rest of the night. All right, a few comments before we start talking about a few things here. Paula Scarf, what was your favorite dish that you had this weekend? All right, from a tradition standpoint, it's got to be mac and cheese. I mean, I've spent so much time talking about it, but really my favorite dish, very untraditional for Thanksgiving, but Sharon made enchilada casserole. Oh, it's so good. I just love me some enchilada casserole. So we serve that alongside the turkey and the brisket and the 400 other dishes it seemed like we have. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving in a second, but of all of them, my wife's enchilada casserole, number one. I had a casserole dish like this. I could eat the whole thing in a setting if I didn't have any discipline. I didn't have a lot of discipline. It's more the fact that it was good enough that everyone else got their slice before I was able to eat the whole dish clean. So I'd go back second, thirds, fourths, and fifths if I had choice on that. But yeah, I love me some enchilada casserole. That was very good. All right, let's see what else we got. Mark the nerd. How are you? Merry Christmas. Well, we're almost Christmas, right? And as you say that, we aren't quite to Christmas yet, but it is Hanukkah season. Happy Hanukkah. It started last night? I think last night or the night before. I'm sure my Jewish friends out here can correct me, but we're into the first few nights of Hanukkah, and I know it starts at sunset in the evening. So I think maybe we're on night 3, maybe now. I don't know. I could be wrong, but happy Hanukkah to all y'all. And yeah, pretty soon it's going to be Merry Christmas. We're certainly in the Merry Christmas season. I tried to avoid listening to Mariah Carey's Christmas song until Thanksgiving. Didn't quite work. I heard it once or twice, but I kind of plugged my ears. But driving back from my Thanksgiving, I certainly heard it on a whole lot of channels coming home. So yeah, we're officially in Christmas. Mariah Carey officially is counting up those bills as they're coming into her wallet every time that song gets played. How much do you think she's made from that? It's got to be a fortune, right? I'm going to write my own Christmas song. So we got that. Our Star saying, first time watching, you're such a nice guy. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Here's the thing. I try to stay positive, whether it's playing Big Brother or whether it's on the show itself. There's so much negativity sometimes on social media, Twitter, Instagram, even out here on YouTube. I don't want to be part of it. So I try to keep it uplifting and have fun with it. So Star, thank you. I appreciate you being out here. Since you just came out, I'll go ahead and throw this in now. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It'll allow you to get updates whether it's Cliff Notes or my Survivor recaps or anything else I do on down the road. Just makes it that much easier to find out when I'm out here. And Star, you got any questions? Just throw them out to the comments over here, and I try to keep up as best I could. There's especially during Big Brother season, I talk a lot of Big Brother. Off season, we talk about a little bit of everything because that's just what makes it that much more fun, right? All right, Mark Taylor, sorry about the game Saturday. My Michigan whipped the Buckeyes. Yes, indeed they did, and now Michigan's potentially going to go to the college football playoffs. I guess if they can win their playoff game against, who are they playing? Iowa, maybe? I can't remember, but yeah, seems like they're in pretty good shape. And they deserved it. They put a whooping on Ohio State. Not a lot of people can say that nowadays, right? Lauren O, it's been a while. Hey, y'all. Well, hey, y'all to you as well, Lauren. Thank you. Travel the world. Did you buy any gifts for Cyber Monday? Well, matter of fact, I did. But since I could have family members that are sitting out here watching this show, I'd like to think one or two may be out here watching every once in a while. So I can't tell you what they are. But yeah, I bought a few, did a little running around, but primarily on the computer buying stuff up. And that's, as I said before, that's the way I like to do my shopping. I did Cyber Monday. I stayed far away from anywhere on Friday. This Black Friday stuff, back in the day, I did enough of that. Nowadays, there's the last thing I want to do is go to shopping mall anytime at all on Friday. So yeah, I saved my shopping till today. And yeah, I got a few items. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about them after Christmas. How about that? There are definitely a few deals out there. Not as many as maybe there used to be. I think COVID's just screwed everything up. COVID, supply chains all messed up. I just feel like everything's a little bit shorter demand now, so they don't have to give those massive price discounts. Although for those of you who are already have bought your $75 75-inch TV, good for you. Congratulations on that. All right, let's see what else we got. Mark Taylor, who Who is your hands-on favorite to win Survivor now? Does Xander have any chance with his paper? Yeah, I don't know. I want to be careful because I assume most of y'all are up to date, but not everyone. I know even over the weekend, I had a few family members who hadn't, especially as busy as everyone was Thanksgiving and stuff, may not have seen the last episode of Survivor. So I'm not going to throw out any spoilers, but who do I think my favorite is? Oh, there's a lot of good players still in that game. I can't throw out names without necessarily throwing out a few spoilers. It's probably 2 or 3 people. We mentioned Xander. I think Xander could potentially win it, although he's got to have a huge target on his back, right? But they're down to 7 people. You only have to survive a couple more times by strategy. You win a immunity competition in between here or there, and suddenly you're at the end. So I think Xander has a chance. I can't throw out that name because it comes into play too much in Survivor. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's a lot of people. There's only a couple of people that I think just don't have a chance in the world. And y'all probably have the same couple of people that y'all would put down as well. I really like the people this season. I love them. I've enjoyed that cast. I told y'all I'm going to Hearts of Reality week after next. I'm kind of curious to see if there's going to be any Survivor people from this season, from season 41. I hope so, but it would be hard. It would be very hard because everyone already knows who. Well, they don't know who won necessarily, but they know who made it to the finals in Survivor. It would be so hard to go to somewhere like Hearts of Reality and not be able to tell it to everyone else who's there, to have to keep that a secret because it won't be decided yet during that weekend. But I kind of hope some of them come because I'd love to pick their brains a little bit and just say congratulations for the season they played. So no spoilers to Survivor, but if you haven't watched it yet, watch it because it was quite the incredible episode. That's about 3 episodes in a row where I got done and my recaps that I put together. I said it's an amazing episode. So if you haven't watched it, watch it, and then you can come out and watch my recap of it as well. All right. Someone asked, what is Hearts of Reality? And I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it real quick. Make-A-Wish. Kids that are terminally ill or at least very critical sickness, illnesses, things, situations. A whole lot of this, I want to say like maybe half the children, their wish involves going to Universal and Disney and the theme parks in Orlando, things like that. So back in 1986, a guy set up an organization called Give Kids the World, where they actually started working with all these Make-A-Wish kids, bringing the kids in, their family. They get to stay for weeks, no cost whatsoever, go to the theme parks, whatever they want to do in the Orlando area. They stay at this special facility where everyone has their own little villa to stay at, the families, and all kinds of things to do there. It's just an amazing experience. I want to say like 186,000 kids have been through there since 1986, something like that. I may be off a little bit, but it's huge. So that's the main organization, is just raising money to take care of all these wish kids that come into that area. But there's a subset of Give Kids the World called Hearts of Reality. It's because it's reality TV. And so every year they take all these reality TV people from Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race. There's also a lot of WWE wrestlers as well. They all get together a couple of times a year, at least once a year, and get together and do just meet and greets and hanging out. And there's a lot of other people too. The Circle, there's going to be people from there. There's going to be people from Naked and Afraid, which I hope they're wearing clothes at the charity event. But I kind of want to talk to them because that's one of my favorite shows. So there's a whole lot of different shows that people show up from. We just hang out. We meet all the fans who buy packages to come in and do photo ops and meet and greets. And a couple of things that I'm doing just as extra ways to raise a little money. One is I'm having coffee with someone, whoever wins an auction. It's on eBay right now. So type in Give Kids the World coffee Cliff and you'll probably find it. But I'm going to have coffee with someone and just shoot the bull. I'll spill all my BBT or coffee in this case, but tell them everything I know about Big Brother. And then Tommy and myself and Nicole and Christy are going to play a couple of rounds of miniature golf with a couple of people who win that auction. So we've got some fun stuff like that going on. And I'm just so excited. One, that I'm helping out these kids and their families is the most important thing of all. I wanted to do it last year and I couldn't because COVID just didn't seem quite appropriate and it didn't seem quite safe enough for me to to risk not just me, but everyone else as well. So I had to cancel, and I felt horrible doing it. But this year, we're going to do it, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, one thing before we move on, I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it last week. One fundraiser that I've got going on, and you can still, it was on my Instagram story, but it's gone away. But you can still find it on my Instagram post or my Twitter post. If you'd like to donate a little bit to Hearts of Reality and you aren't able to make it to Orlando, I understand completely. But if you would, go out and find my post on Instagram or Twitter. It has a link to the donation page for myself, for Cliff Hogg. And if you can donate anything on there, only if you're able, then that certainly would be appreciated. If you can donate at least $15, then not only do you have my appreciation, but I also am going to send you a big old packet of loofah seeds and some growing instructions, and see if I can be like the Johnny Appleseed of loofah plants around the United States. Wouldn't that be something if 200 years from now they say, oh, that freaking Cliff Hogg, he spread these loofah plants everywhere. And everywhere you go, there's loofahs growing. You know, everyone has loofah sponges everywhere they go. Maybe a man could wish, right? But now, if you donate at least $15, I'll send you a packet of loofah seeds with the agreement that once you plant them, that you keep me in touch and you let me know if they grow, because I want to see how they grow in different parts of the USA. My own little personal agricultural experiment. So yeah, I'm Cliff Hogg, the loofah king. So now that's, but again, the main thing, it's just a way to raise a little extra money for Hearts of Reality and give kids the world. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure we'll talk about it again next Monday. But yeah, it's gonna be fun raising kids money for all the kids. That's the most important. But secondary, meeting a whole lot of these other reality TV folks. Johnny Fairplay is going to be there. Sandra, the Survivor Queen. Ethan Zahn from back in Survivor Africa. It's just going to be a lot of people there, and all kinds of Big Brother folks as well. So yeah, it's going to be a blast. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to hang with all of them, but I'm going to try. We're going to have fun with it. Travel the World is the finale of Survivor Live. It used to be. I don't know if it still is, especially given COVID and all of that. Travel. I don't know what they're doing this year. I think I saw an advertisement that said only 2 more episodes before the Survivor finale, but I don't know if it's live or not. Who knows at this day and age? I guess I don't really care. I just want to find out who wins this thing. I'm amazed that we're only, 3 weeks away, I guess. Lindsay says, I'm late, but I'm here. Well, Lindsay, that's what matters. Thank you. Thank you for coming out here. And that's the beauty about this. If you missed any of it, give it 24 hours and it gets posted along with the replay of the comments and everything else. So you didn't really miss anything. But I get it. Thank you for making it better late than never, right? All right, Ma saying people who do Naked and Afraid have extreme levels of confidence that I will never get close to. Yeah, I get it, but I'd do it. I don't know if my wife would let me do it, but I'd do it. Why not? I mean, first of all, they're gonna blur out the parts they need to blur out, right? Of course, that doesn't mean that there aren't a whole lot of editors and cameramen and everyone else that sees you in all your glory to begin with. But whatever. You know what? I'm to the point now. I was on Big Brother. I know when I first got in there, it's like, oh, got to change clothes under the towel, under the sheets, and all that. By the end of it, it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to keep the shower door closed. I'm not an exhibitionist or anything, but you see my underwear, whatever. Yeah, I'll own this body. It is who I am, and I'm not too worried about it. So if they offered me a chance to go on Naked and Afraid, yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling after the first day or two, I don't care about being seen by the cameras and all that. Whatever, I can live with that. What worries me a little bit is there's always a whole lot of bugs on that show. And I don't want little biting, nasty bugs having exposure to 100% of my body, if you know what I mean. There's some parts I'd like to keep a little bit more covered up from sunburn, because there's parts where don't normally get a whole lot of sun exposure. So yeah, there's reasons beyond just the shyness levels that would concern me a little bit. But hey, it's all about taking risk in life, right? So call me Naked and Afraid. Let's talk. All right. Chris Lair, Christmas movies are in full swing on TV now. Do you have a favorite? Well, matter of fact, how do you do that? I mean, there's so many of them. I'll let you in on one little dark secret. You know, a Christmas movie that I've never seen. I feel like I've seen it because I know everything about it, but one Christmas movie that I've never seen all the way through, It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, one of the classics of all time. And yet I don't know, for whatever reason, I just never got around to watching. I've seen little bits and pieces. Again, I know everything it's about, but haven't seen the whole thing. My favorite Christmas movies. I'll give you two of them. Okay, I'll give you a classic, and I'll give you a more a newer one. Well, I'll give you three. All right, how about that? First of all, from a classic standpoint, the original Miracle on 34th Street. It's just such I don't know. I just like it. It just makes you happy watching the show and watching a whole lot of happiness and all of that. So it was back in the 40s. It's an older movie. I give you four. A Christmas Carol. I'm jumping out of it. Miracle on 34th Street. A Christmas Carol with Scrooge and all that is just amazing. The one back from the 40s or 50s. I like one of those originals. I don't know how many versions they've done of that. So two classics, two more modern ones. First of all, Christmas Vacation with the Griswolds, with trees that don't really fit in houses and animals that shouldn't be in houses, and Jelly of the Month Club, and and Clark. I love all the vacation movies, but Christmas Vacation especially. That and the first one are my favorites. So Christmas Vacation, and perhaps my all-time favorite, just because I can relate. In fact, I even saw it this weekend in between celebrating Thanksgiving. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, trying to find the Turbo Man action figure for his son and having problems everywhere he goes. And it just so captures the parents wanting to do everything for their kids. And sometimes things just don't seem to quite work out. My favorite scene from that movie, and I don't want to spoil the whole movie. It came out 30 years ago, so hopefully y'all seen it. But there's one scene where they're waiting for the toy store to open, and they can see a display of the Turbo Man dolls down at the end of the aisle, and the gates open, and I think they're playing It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year as people are fighting, they're pushing each other down, they're grabbing and really displaying the worst parts of humanity, but they're doing it in a very funny way, right? I just love that show. So yeah, Jingle All the Way with Schwarzenegger. He's funny. He has all his action flicks, Terminator, things like that, but Kindergarten Cop and Jingle All the Way. He's quite the comedian as well. So there you go. All right, let me look at a few of these real quick. Marine saying, do you know if Ovi or Kimmy will be at Hearts of Reality? I do not. Neither one. I know that Kimmy has not announced. I don't think she's planning to be there. But if I'm wrong, I haven't seen anything official, but I do not think she's planning to be there. Ovi, I don't know if he's officially announced, but I know he had said at one point he was going to try to make it there. We've got, I think, about 10 or so folks from my season that are going to be at the Hearts of Reality. Again, I don't think it's Kimmy. Nick's got his baby at home. I think Jack and Mickey aren't going to be able to make it for whatever reason. Kat's not going to be able to make it. And who am I missing? Is that it? That may be it. So there are about 10 of it. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I don't think Kimmy is going to, and Ovi, I think he's more positive that he's going than not, but we'll have to see. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, Chris, your boy. Who do you think would win Big Brother Winners at War? Oh, if he just took the winners? I don't know, Chris, because here's the thing. We all talk about some of the people who are the best players, like a Dan Giesling, right? Or and I'm assuming everyone who's ever won could potentially be in that cast. We're not ruling anyone out because there's some people who said they wouldn't come back, but someone like a Dan or Derek that everyone considers to be such strong players, I think people would target them right off the bat. I think they would they get sent home earlier just because everyone else would fear of them doing what they do so well. So I don't think you can take the best player and predict them to win. I think you probably take someone that's somewhere right in the middle that everyone says, yeah, they were okay, but nothing really jumps out at you. And I think that's the kind of person that could win it. Someone like Casey. I'm just thinking the most recent seasons. Casey, she won, but no, if she went in there, everyone would say, well, she's a competition beast, but strategically and all of that, she was great. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think anyone ever says, oh my God, she's the most amazing strategic player ever. I think she proves on the challenge. I love watching her on a challenge. She's such a great player. Someone like Casey could win it. Would someone like a Rachel Riley have a chance? I don't know. I feel like she would be kind of a target for a lot of people. I'd like to think someone like I don't know. What about like Stephen Moses? I mean, he was a great player, but no one gives him probably as much credit as he deserves. So maybe someone like that. I don't know. It would be great to watch. I don't think we'll ever get it because it's just too hard to get people in. And now after watching season 22, do we really want it? The only thing that fears me or scares me is just I don't want all this pre-planning gameplay before you get in the game. I hate the idea. I hated during my season to find out there were people who already knew each other who had advantages coming into that house because I just don't think that's fair. And I also wouldn't want to watch a season where winners who had already hung around a lot with each other a lot and were tight friends had somehow worked out some alliances and agreements before ever coming in the house. I like everyone starting off on equal footing, and I don't know that you would get that with a winners season or anything. I'd like to watch it. I'm just worried it'd be a little bit like season 22 was last summer, and I really don't want another one of those seasons. That was not as much action packed as I'd hoped it would have been. Michelle Moore, do you watch Ghost on CBS? No, but I want to because every time I see a little commercial of it on CBS, it kind of looks funny. I mean, I watched the Boy Scout leader with the arrow in his neck and all, and I've had a few people have said, yeah, it's pretty funny. You got to watch it. So no, I haven't, but I want to. I need to. Just hadn't happened yet. It's funny. I don't watch a lot of TV. I mean, I watch Netflix, things like that. As far as primetime TV, I watch all the reality TV, it seems like. And then there's just a few shows, Magnum PI, Bull, a few shows like that I watch. But yeah, I haven't watched as many sitcoms here lately as I used to. I used to love sitcoms. It's not that I don't now. I just haven't watched as many now. So there you go. All right, let's see what else we got on here. Ghost is a great show. My wife loves it too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on the list. I like that. All right. Yeah, Jingle All the Way is great. Arnold and Sinbad were perfect, along with Phil Hartman. Everyone was cast so well on there. So what am I watching? I told y'all that I don't watch a lot of sitcoms. So it seems like a good segue to get into it. Well, as I mentioned, I'm watching a lot of reality TV. I'm watching The Challenge. I'm watching Survivor. I'm watching a whole lot of. Now we're getting into the baking shows and all the Christmas stuff and everything like that. And I always watch that stuff too. Always makes me feel a little depressed. I watch them make these amazing Christmas displays and think, well, I could do that. And yet deep down, I know, you couldn't really do that. I'd be a perfect contestant on Nailed It. Have you ever watched that? It's on Netflix, I think so. Where you get the professional, it has the most amazing cake, and then you get regular people that are supposed to replicate it. And of course, they're always horrible. And I'd fit right in with those folks and be sitting there saying, nailed it. And it'd be drooping over, Christmas tree halfway over, leaning, things like that. But now, probably the binge that I'm watching right now, and we've talked about in here before. I've had a few suggestions. I always come out here and say, yeah, all right, I'll put it on the list. I'll put it on the list. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But I've been watching this one, Wheels of Time on Amazon. Whoever made the recommendation out here, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not completely caught up. I haven't seen Fridays because I was off and about over the weekend. But I've watched the first 3 episodes of Wheels of Time. Pretty good. I've enjoyed it so far. I had heard people say it's a little bit like Game of Thrones was, a similar type politics and all that. And maybe that's going to come into play. But right now I'm getting a very strong Lord of the Rings type feel to it, with some mythical monsters and people trying to avoid, and magical, people and all that. But I can see how there's some plotting, inspiring things like that are starting to occur as well. So yeah, I've said before, I like to read the book before I watch the shows and all that. Well, knowing there's like 40 million words to and 20 something books or whatever to Wheels of Time, I just can't quite do that first. So I'm watching this series and I've loved it so far. Now I've heard people say, watch episode 4 because it's an amazing episode. It really will hook you if it hadn't already. So I'm going to do that between now and next week. We'll talk some more about it. But whoever made that recommendation, thank you very much, because I love Wheels of Time so far. So far, so good. All right, Chris, if you were on a duo season and had to pick someone else from another season, who would you pick? God, yeah. All right. There's a few people. Let me throw out a few of my favorites. There's someone like a Donnie Thompson. I just feel like we'd hang, we'd have fun together. Someone else that I'd love to play the game with is Johnny Mack. I love Johnny Mac's game, Johnny the Dentist. So much. No. I would have fun being in the house with Johnny. If you're talking about female players, assume it's a man and a woman that you'd have to play. I got two I'll throw out right off the bat. Vanessa Russo, because I think she's an incredible and a strategic player, very strategic. And I think our minds would work well together. So Vanessa is certainly one of them. And the other one is Brittany Haynes, because I just love Brittany. I love her diary room sessions. She would just be a fun person to hang out in the house. And she's just got the right level of sarcasm and everything else. And I think we would get along well also. So there's your four quick names. The reality is I would pretty much be willing to work with any duo with any other person. The more emotional they are while in there, the tougher it'd be. I would have a hard time playing with someone who wore their emotions on their sleeve. That's a saying, right? Who just expressed everything and yelled and screamed and cried all day long. And then Nicole Anthony did a little crying here or there, but in the diary room, not so much in front of me. And so it wasn't too horrible. But someone who's very emotional, I'd have a harder time working with. I like the people who don't take the game too seriously and who play a lot of strategy involved. They don't have to be the biggest comp beast, because that's not who I am. Now, maybe it would help if I had someone like that matching up with me. But I just want someone who's in there able to laugh and have fun there while they're in the house. And also someone who kind of is logical and can think through the process. Does that make sense? That's the kind of people I would pick. Chris Lair, have you ever met Eddie, the winner of Big Brother 1? He was an amazing competitor with only one leg. I remember watching that season. There's some things that happened. I missed the last part of that season, but I watched most of it. Eddie, I think he maybe is from New York, but I believe he was maybe going to college in Texas. I think at TCU in Fort Worth, perhaps. I know he kind of had some Texas roots, and I got to say, as soon as he came in that house, he seemed like a nice guy, and yeah, it's kind of cheering for him from the very beginning. No, I've never met him. I'm not even really sure what he's up to nowadays, but I know exactly who you're talking about. And is he the reason I got hooked on Big Brother? Probably not, because I watched that season. It was a whole different format then. The people, the American public was voting people either go on the block or get booted out of the house. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but I watched that, and then I had kids and family and just walked away for several seasons. It was more season 8 that got me hooked on Big Brother. But yeah, I'd love to meet Eddie one of these days and just say, hey, 20-something years ago, before I went on, you were on, and that's kind of cool. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun, but no, I have not met him. All right, pranks over Thanksgiving. And yeah, let's talk about Thanksgiving. Considering I had all kinds of reminders and everything on that. First of all, my Thanksgiving was an extended affair. Before Thanksgiving even started, I will say this. I went down and I got my COVID booster and I got my flu shot on the same day, one in each arm. So I had a day or two right there before Thanksgiving where I was feeling a little under the weather. I didn't have any huge side effects. I was just fatigued and just not feeling great. So I kind of went through a funk of about 24 hours or so and came out of that and said, all right, bring on the turkey. I'm ready for Thanksgiving. So now we drove up to Dallas-Fort Worth area, stayed at my mom's house, and it's great. On Thanksgiving Day, we had our pre-Thanksgiving dinner, which was wife and I, my mom, some in-laws, some other family members, things like that, and kind of had a celebration on Thanksgiving Day. Watched the Cowboys play football in Detroit and all that. So little pre-Thanksgiving and some football. Friday, my kids who had missed Thursday, Kelly and Daniel, both were able to come over. So Friday, we went to my brother's house in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, had our official Thanksgiving dinner at his house, watched a little more football, ate a whole lot of food, including a whole lot of enchilada casserole. So day 2 of our Thanksgiving celebrations, did that, stayed there the whole afternoon, the whole evening, went home, got a little rest, got up the next morning, went back over to my brother's house to have the post-Thanksgiving dinner, our preparation for Aggie football game Saturday night. And there were games on throughout the day. So we just went over there, watched football all day long, ate leftovers in between, and had a blast doing that. Once the football games were over, once most of the food had been taken care of, I think either today or tomorrow is throw out your leftovers day for this day in history or national what day. we don't have to worry so much about that. We did pretty well with the food. Leftovers for quitters, right? Nah, I'm just kidding. Leftovers are fantastic, but we did all of that. Once the football games were over, then we sat down. We played a game that's kind of become a family tradition over the last few years. I'm sure a lot of y'all know about left, right, or center. Have you heard of it? It's a dice game. You got 3 dice. Everyone puts in 3 $1 bills. You could have 3 cookies or however you want to play, and depending on the age groups and all of that. But for us, we put in 3 $1 bills. Every person rolls the dice. If it says left, one of the dice says left, you got to give a $1 bill to the person on your left. If it says right, you give one to the person on your right. If there's a star in it, you got to put a $1 bill in the kitty. And you go around the table, and so people are constantly rolling these 3 dice and having to hand money left or right or in the middle. As money keeps going to the middle, there's less and less money that people are passing back and forth. And eventually you get to the point where one person is the only person that still has a $1 bill and everything else is in the middle. And that person wins all the money. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. We had a blast playing it. We played for hours doing that thing. And yeah, no one loses a whole lot of money. And we had 1 or 2 people who were playing that were younger kids, and they were so excited to potentially be winning all this money, and everything the Hog family does becomes cutthroat. I mean, we're it's a friendly game, but we're still razzing each other and saying, yeah, that $1's mine. You just might as well go ahead and hand it over right now. And we had a lot of fun playing left, right, center. It's just a fun way to finish off our whole long extended Thanksgiving. And as I thought about it, we kind of did Christmas a little bit last year, but we had missed Thanksgiving for COVID, and we just had an extended period of time where my entire extended family really hadn't been able to get together and just hang out. And so it was great to be able to do it for this Thanksgiving holiday. How many people were there? 25, 30 people. We had a lot of folks there, and we had a lot of food. It was great. We had a blast doing it. Now, not so much fun coming back Sunday, trying to deal with traffic getting back to Houston. Oh my gosh, for those of you who traveled, I feel your pain, because I was right there in the middle of it. It was a long drive back home. We'll talk about that later. Nothing happened. It's just I hate sitting in a car in rush hour or bumper to bumper traffic and knowing that it's going to take you hours and hours to get you where you're going. It's not a lot of fun at all. But anyway, so yeah, I had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Now, here's what's funny. Last year, or it's 2 years ago, because last year we didn't do it because of COVID. 2 years ago, right after I got out of the Big Brother house, we had Thanksgiving, a month or 2 after Big Brother. We had Thanksgiving, went up to my mom's house, got done. The traffic was so bad coming back that we happened to pass a drive-in movie theater. You know those things where you park your car and you watch it on a screen. Used to be big when I was younger, not so much nowadays. But we passed one of those a couple hours south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We said, well, forget this. This traffic, it's gonna be 2 o'clock in the morning before we get home. So we just pulled in, parked the car, watched a double feature at the drive-in. Just Sharon and I, just little impromptu date night, watching, and we watched Charlie's Angels and Zombieland 2. Oh, there you go. It was, we watched our double feature movie. By the time we got done, it's midnight 30, something like that. Traffic's all let up. Hop in the car, drive the last few hours to get home, and so much better way to get you drive home. So yeah, it's all about being flexible in life, right, guys? You adapt as the situation requires it. All right, what else going on? Let me look at these. Wish Howdy had been a little more strategic. All right, y'all talking some old school Big Brother, right? I bet you are. All right. Oh, we play that during study hall. Ma saying we play yellow chips. They're supposed to represent money. See, that's a fun way to do it. You don't have to play with money, because it's all just about trying to say that you're the winner at the end. Just that feeling of accumulating, be it yellow chips, be it dollar bills, be it M&Ms, be it pretzels, whatever it is, just that ability to say, come on home to Papa. You all belong to me. But that's the fun part about that game. So, and everyone can play. The instruction, it takes 2 minutes to learn the game. So it's not long and drawn out like Risk and Monopoly and some of the board games we normally play. And you can play with 3 people. You can play with 20 people, I suppose. I think we have about 10 people playing. That's pretty much perfect. Michelle, where do you get those dice? I bet if you search on Amazon, just type in left, right, center. I'm sure you can get them. And it's just 3. The whole game is 3 dice. So theoretically, I suppose you could even just take 3 dice of your own and doctor them up with a little paint on one side or the other, something. But I bet you can get those 3 dice for a couple of bucks or something. Nah, it's Amazon, probably $5 or $6. But no, it's just 3 dice. That's it for the whole game. And I bet if you type in a Wikipedia or elsewhere, left, right, center, they'll lay out the rules. Not like there's a lot of them, but they'll lay out the rules, and you can be playing in just a couple of minutes. And it's just fun because again, we played anywhere from an 8-year-old all the way up to, well, my mom, and I'll just leave it at that. Older than the average age of everyone else is there. There you go, Mom. I'll say it like that. But now, so what they always say on the board games from 9 to 99 or something. And I'm not saying you're 99, Mom, so don't yell at me. But yeah, anyone can play it. All right, Lawrence Santiago, hello. Well, hello to you, Lawrence. I'm glad that you could make it. Thank you very much, sir. I always appreciate it, so thank you much. Oh, Amanda's saying, any pranks? Yeah, I almost forgot that. I had one or two that I wanted to do, and it just didn't work out. I'm not going to tell you because, again, I think I'm going to do them at Easter time. It's probably my target goal because it has a bit of an Easter theme. But my niece had one. We raise them right in our family. My niece had a prank that I saw her and was like, oh, okay, you're definitely a hog. You're definitely in the right family. She had the idea that, again, we're at my brother's house, and when we get together, we always have family photos. You know how it goes, right? Everyone takes photos here and there. Well, she wanted to have the family photos in the backyard. They've got a deck they built, and she wanted to do it in the backyard. I said, yeah, sure, that's fine. But she was so excited. When are we going to do the photos? When are we going to do the photos? And when we take them, you need to stand right here. It's like, well, you sure are setting all this up very well. You're sure excited for family photos. You've never been excited like this before. No, we have to do them. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. She's maybe not so subtle. And as it turns out, there was a reason behind it, because right where she wanted everyone to stand is right in front of a sloped roof. And above that sloped roof is a bedroom with, as it turns out, an open window. And as it turns out, if someone was to stand right where she wanted the photos to be taken, and they stand there and they're smiling for the cameras, and someone else just happened to have a big old bucket of water and was to pour it on that roof, within a few seconds, it would roll all the way down the roof and land on whoever may be posing for the photos. So yeah, she came up with that, and she was so excited, and Lord help her, everyone said, yeah, we'll do photos in a minute. We got to finish eating. No, I want to do photos. And finally, most of us figured out kind of what maybe was going on, especially when she said all that, and then suddenly she disappeared, and we could hear giggling from the bedroom upstairs. And we could see a bucket kind of swinging from upstairs. But for those of us, for those in the family who maybe weren't quite as aware, we got them lined up. Primarily some of my nephews got them lined up and posing. And here comes the water. And one or two got hit pretty hard. The others saw some drips and jumped out of the way pretty quickly. But she was so excited, my niece. She laughed. She went on, and just thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And I gotta say, she's my little Padawan, right? I'm like Yoda, the prank master, and now I got my little Padawan to start the training, to get her adapted to the hog way of pranks. So yeah, I've got my young little apprentice that I'll start working with. I think my brother, this is my brother Bowie, who we talked about, was on The Apprentice. My youngest brother, it's his daughter, and so he'll be happy getting her. He's certainly done a few pranks of his own. So yeah, we're going to get her trained up and turned into the prankster that she obviously is destined to be. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Now I did talk about I talked about my brother Bowie last week, and y'all asked about how he got his name and being on The Apprentice and all that. I talked to him over the weekend. I said, Bowie, I need to get you on the show. We'll talk about old school reality TV versus my season of reality TV with Big Brother. And he said, yeah, I'd be happy to do it. So we're going to put that together. I'm not sure exactly when we'll do it. Maybe right there the first year while we're waiting for Celebrity Big Brother to start up, something like that. I don't know. I'm going to work out schedule with them. But yeah, I'm going to put Bowie on the show as well. Oh, he was mad. Last name's Hog. His last name Hog as well. his front yard, he has all decorated for Christmas. And the thing that he does in his yard is it's all about pigs. He's got ballerina pigs, he's got basketball playing pigs. Every kind of Christmas decoration you can imagine are pigs in his yard, and they're all pink lights, and it's pretty cool. Very typical for someone with the last name Hog, right? Well, he has all these pigs set up. Well, last year, someone stole one of his pigs, and he was so upset. So how cruel. That's Ebenezer Scrooge level of being to steal someone's Christmas decorations. But someone stole one of his pigs, and it was one that can't be replaced. He had two of them, and so one of them disappeared. So he was so furious. So this year, he took a real long bicycle lock and had it strung, connected to a tree, and then little mini bicycle locks for each of these little characters he had set up in his yard so no one could steal them. Good plan, right? So he gets everything set up on, I guess, Thursday. We go over there on a Friday for our big Thanksgiving shindig. Go home Friday night. Between Friday night and Saturday morning, someone still stole one of his pigs. They stole the other ballerina pig, which can't be replaced because they don't make it anymore. Stole the other ballerina pig. And I know what y'all are saying. Didn't he have them all locked up with a bicycle lock? Well, he did. Which is why when he went out there, the pig was missing, but one little section of that pig's leg was still there. Yeah, they ripped the wire part of the leg off and left the little pig leg sitting there and took the whole rest of the pig off wherever they want to do it. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that just downright mean? So for any of y'all, especially live up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but perhaps it could be elsewhere. This could be an international ring for all I know. So if you happen to see a pink pig, is there any other color? I guess there could be blue, but in this case, a pink pig. If you see a pink pig made up of lots of Christmas lights, and it's a ballerina, but it's only got one leg, let me know, because I may need to have a discussion with the person displaying that particular pig, because there can't be that many one-legged ballerina pigs around the world, right? You would think not. So yeah, that was a little rough, and I may give him a little bit of a hard time about as well. I may have thought of a prank or two. I if I'd had a little more time, I may have wanted to play involving either taking more pigs and hiding them somewhere, or just showing up with a whole lot of random Christmas decorations and putting those there in his place instead. And we got time between now and Christmas, so yeah. But that was pretty upset. I don't blame him. How mean could you be, right? Don't be stealing anyone's Christmas decorations. That's no good. All right, David Manna. I wish they'd bring back some of the ways they used to play Big Brother when it first started. Yeah, I agree. It was a whole lot more. Oh, what's the right word? It wasn't as high tech. It wasn't as fancy. So I remember one of the first seasons. It involved throwing CDs into a bucket in the middle of a swimming pool or something. I mean, that's as low tech as you can go. The time they were all stuck inside the little torture house or whatever, hot and having to touch the wall. It's like a little greenhouse they had set up back there. So yeah, it used to be not quite as fancy, but I loved it. I loved when they played the food competitions to try to win extra stuff and everything. Yeah, and Lawrence saying before the power of veto. Yeah, I don't know. Having played the game, I kind of like the power of veto because it gives everyone a chance, even if you're nominated, even if you know that you are every single person's target, you at least have one more chance to try to win that veto and save yourself. So I like the power of the veto. I don't necessarily like it when it goes beyond just a standard old veto, and I don't like it when it lets you take yourself off and put someone else up, or where the diamond power like Christy was going to use, it kind of screwed up my HOH. I don't like when there's too much power in that house, but a little bit's okay. But yeah, I get what you're saying as far as some of the old school way of playing the game. I'm fine with that. Every season, and I'm not talking about just Big Brother because it's all reality TV, but primarily the competition type shows. Every season they have to one-up it a little bit, right? They've got to come up with a new twist, a new exciting way to get people with that that aha moment. Oh my gosh. And part of it's because they want to see how people change their strategies with some of the new things going on. Part of it's just because they want to see people get blindsided and surprised. And so you put twists in there that let that happen. And I get it. I absolutely get it. It's not going to change. That's just the way it is. But I'd kind of like to see just maybe one season where they say old school. This season is old school. We're going to we're going to get rid of everything. This is just a straight up, and Survivor could be the same way in addition to Big Brother. There aren't going to be all these fancy twists and everything. Now, maybe there'll be an immunity idol once or twice, but there's only going to be one, and you either play it or you don't play it. And that's all there is to it. Yeah, and we're going to play to win food, whether it's Big Brother or Survivor, or either one. We're going to let you play to win some luxuries. Otherwise, you're going to be just that much more miserable. I'm all for that. I'd love to see one of those kind of seasons. Don't think we're going to get it, but you never know. Fans put enough pressure on them, maybe we will. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Maureen Carroll, is Jim Hogg, former governor of Texas, your ancestor? Yes, he is. In fact, Jim Hogg, I've got a brother named Jim. In fact, his name is James Stephen, which is just like the governor's name, James Stephen Hogg. My name, William Clifford Hogg, is the name of the governor's son. So we got some connections here and there. Not immediate. It's not like he's my great-great-grandfather or anything. He had 2 kids. Neither one of them had kids. So it's kind of side family, fourth cousins once removed, kind of something like that. His family was from Hogtown, Tennessee. Yeah. No, I take that back. His family was from Virginia and eventually went straight from Virginia to Texas. My side of the family was from Hogtown, Tennessee, which is the northern part of Tennessee. And apparently the Virginia brothers, there were 3 of them. One of them came to Texas. One of them stayed in Virginia. One of them went to Tennessee. And eventually the Tennessee side came to Texas, which is what I'm part of. So, yeah, there's a connection, but not as much as I wish there was. Considering that Hogg family was worth billions and billions of dollars. Yeah, I wish I was a little more related, but nah. But yeah, we are definitely related. So it's a great name to have in the state of Texas. All right, Michelle, what did Zingbot say about you? Oh, Michelle. Yeah, Zingbot had, I got to say this. I was happy that I was still in the house when Zingbot showed up. I didn't want to miss that, and I didn't. Whatever. What's he going to say about me? I actually was expecting Zingbot to talk about me with my loud mouth. I couldn't keep my mouth closed, the idiot talking too loud, something like that. But he didn't. He said something about, I think Nicole or so on, you've been spending the entire season in this house with this voluptuous person, just a full-size body or something. And everyone's thinking they're talking about Jessica because that's how she spent a lot of time promoting body positivity and all that. All about staying with someone with this voluptuous figure. Cliff! Zing! Okay, whatever. So yeah, my zing was all about me being, we'll just call it full-figured, right? That's a polite way to say it. Whatever, I own it. So it was all about me. And so I went up and kind of showed off and gave up, did a little chest bump with Zingbot or whatever. I don't know, it was fine. I'm not a huge fan of Zingbot when Zingbot makes jokes about one's appearance and one's body and things like that. For me, whatever. It didn't faze me at all. But I know I've seen some others, and I'm not going to go into details, but I've seen some in the past where I thought that Zingbot really was kind of taking a cheap way out, attacking someone's looks and things like that, when there's so many things that Zingbot could go after. Man, make me a writer on Big Brother. I will give you zings for every person they'll dig in and they will, but it'll all be about the strategy, about the way they play the game, about things they've said, things that are part of a person's control and not just body stuff. But that's me. It didn't faze me when Zingbot said. I was just happy I was there for Zingbot to say something and all. But yeah, I was expecting a little bit more than that. Wow, 7:55 already. Go so fast, guys. Travel the world. This season of Survivor has too many twists, in my opinion. I thought so. And I get what you're saying, because we already saw that Liana tried to use her twist to take Xander's idol. It didn't work. I feel okay saying that's a couple of weeks ago, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, and we saw that 3-way idol and all that. So yes, in the beginning, there had a lot of twists, and I didn't like him going up on that mountain and going again, winning all these extra advantages and everything. I thought the first half of the season was really loaded up heavy with a lot of twists, which is tough when you have 3 tribes. So you don't have 6 people to begin with. If one person has a twist, that suddenly makes a whole lot of people vulnerable, even if they haven't done anything wrong, even if they're playing pretty good games. Sometimes it's just, the luck of the draw or whatever. So I didn't necessarily like the first of the season, but I got to say right now, again, without going into spoilers, but there's not a whole lot of twist and and advantages and everything out there right now, right? For those of you who know what I'm saying, right? It's dropped off a whole lot. I'm surprised we haven't seen some immunity idols, things like that pop up here recently. Maybe they will. Maybe they're out there and people just haven't found them yet, and so they just haven't bothered showing on TV. But I absolutely get what you're saying. And I know there have been a few seasons. What season was that? A few seasons back where someone went home. God, why can't I remember? Someone went home because every other person basically ended up with immunity or was safe because of tie votes and drawing rocks. I remember it's like, well, we don't even have to vote. You're the only person that's still eligible to get sent home. Who was that? I don't remember who it was. But anyway, yeah, I don't really like seasons where you got so many idols out there. It's like bowling. When you watch bowling, everyone makes strikes every time. You start watching to watch that one person just to screw up a little bit, not get a strike, and that causes them to lose. Sometimes Survivors, a season like that can feel the same way where I got an idol, you got an idol, you got an idol. And it's just the person goes home who just didn't quite find that idol. And I want the idols to stand out as this huge special power, not just something that majority of people have. So yeah, I get what you're saying. But right now I'm okay with what's currently out there. It's all right. But I gotta say, I love the cast. I love the cast this season. Jeff Probst is the next executive producer. I'm pretty sure he has a say over casting as well. Because wasn't it Christian from this season of Big Brother? I think he said that he was at the very finals of going on to a Survivor, and he said, "Yeah, Jeff didn't like me, so I got shot down." I think that was Christian. If not, y'all correct me. But so yeah, obviously Jeff Probst as the executive producer has a say, even who ends up on the show. And so for him and whoever else was behind casting for Survivor, well done, my friends. I'm loving this season. But there you go. All right, what else have I missed on here? I'm trying to keep up with this, guys. Let's see, talking about left, right, center. That shows how far behind I am on some of this. Yeah, a few twists, but no, I think it's all right. Did you see the person who plays Zingbot? No, we never did, Lawrence. It's Zingbot comes out already dressed up, does his thing, disappears. We play the veto challenge. Zingbot's there kind of while we're doing the challenge, but no, it's I know what some of y'all think, that as soon as they say cut or something, then Zingbot pulls off his head and says, "Man, it's hot in there, guys." No, nothing like that. The cameras never shut off while we're in that house. So Zingbot made his appearance wearing full gear, did his little thing, walked out the house with his full gear on, and walked out through the diary room. Walked out wearing full outfit, and we never saw who was in there. For all I know, it's just some intern or something. I don't know, but no, we never saw that. It's a mystery to me. All right, guys, it is 8 o'clock. I covered a few things. There are a few other things I was going to talk about, but for the most part, I got it all. So thank you. I love having Monday nights to talk with y'all and answer some of the questions and everything else that's going on. So thank you. Mark the Nard says, "I pray I'm able to drop you some money. Feels a great opportunity. Please keep it going." Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I assume you're talking Hearts of Reality. I appreciate it. If you can, fantastic, but only if you're able. Everyone knows what's capable and what's possible. But if you can, again, my Twitter page or my Instagram post, and you'll find the link. And if you can, fantastic. And if not, just say a little prayer and think about those kids, because the strength those kids exhibit having to fight through that stuff, and their families as well. It just it makes me feel horrible that they're in that situation, but it also makes me feel very great about humanity in general, that people are able to fight through and deal with such sometimes horrific situations, and the strength I see in character of some of just the very limited exposure I've had so far. And I'm looking forward to learning so much more about it when I go over there. So yeah, think about those kids and their families, because it's tough. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. All right, guys, that's going to shut it down. 8:01. Close enough. Guys, y'all have a fantastic rest of the week. Enjoy the last week of November. It's amazing. Then we're in December next week, and we're right up against Christmas and all that. So enjoy your week. For those of you celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah to you. Blessed to all of y'all. Give your friends and families hugs, and make sure that they know that you're thinking about them. With that being said, SKD143. I love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out there, and Be safe, be kind to each other, and I will talk to y'all. Well, I'm going to do Survivor recap on Wednesday, so check that out once I drop that probably Thursday morning. And if not that, then I will see y'all Monday of first week of December. Until then, cheers, guys. Have a great one. Bye.